Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a great day so far. So today we are going to be talking Snatchural products. If you don't know what Snatchural means, you are normal. Don't worry about it, don't worry about it. I'm here to help you. This is a phrase that, as far as I'm aware, was coined by Scott Barnes. We all kind of became familiar with it when he did Tati Westbrook's makeup in a video, like a collab doing her makeup. And yeah, it's been in my head rent-free ever since. I use it just as part of my everyday language now. And I posted a makeup photo on my Instagram and just sort of the caption was feeling snatchural. And snatchural to me, what it means is there's like a scale in makeup, isn't there? From like snatched, full beat, full glam, whatever you want to call it, to no makeup and everything in between. When it comes to makeup, you kind of fall somewhere on that scale from natural to snatched. Snatchural, to me at least, how I use it, is when I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I want to be natural. I want to look kind of a little put together, but I want my skin to still look like skin. I don't necessarily want to have colours of the rainbow on my eyes. I want my blush, my bronzer to kind of look as though maybe they're just naturally there, you know? That's kind of my snatchural approach, my snatchural philosophy, if you will. So today I thought I would share with you my favourite Snatchural products that I go to, that I grab for, that I reach for when I'm going for that Snatchural look. Drink every time I say Snatchural during this video. Don't, you'll die. So let's get started. And like with Snatchural makeup itself, we're all drunk at this point. There is also a range, a bit of variety in the products that I'm going to talk to you about, depending on where I'm going with the scale, how snatched and how natural I'm feeling. So there are options here, options for everybody. It's nice to have options, isn't it? It's always nice. So if you are going for the ultimate, very in fact, really no makeup, not just no makeup, but just no makeup, then my number one Snatchural product is the By Terry Brightening CC Serum. This is the Sunny Flash shade, so it has a bit of a bronzy tint to it. Let me share a swatch with you. It just smells delightful, this. This is a bit of a skincare type product, but it just has this stunning glow. And for me, especially in summer, this product just takes the edge off how much whiter my face is than my body, because I use a lot of SPF on my face. I also do a lot of skincare, exfoliating on my face. So in summer, I end up like two people, more tanned body, very pale face. Generally throughout summer, there is a noticeable difference between my face and the rest of my body, which is fine if I'm wearing makeup, because I can just, you know, match to my body, which I do most of the time. But if I'm going makeup free, then I can look a little alarming. I will say that. So for me, this is like a taking the edge off. I'm going makeup free. I just want SPF on, and then this will go over the top of that, and it just gives my skin a glow. It just smooths and kind of does a bit of color correcting as well, tones down redness. Everything looks glowy and snatched. And it just makes me feel a little fresher, more awake, and just taking all the edge off without me having to do anything else. I don't need to go in with concealer and bronzer and balance everything out. This on its own, you could whack on some mascara, brows, a lip balm if you wanted, but you can just use this on its own as well. This is like the ultimate on the sliding scale towards the natural. This is like this and done. If you're looking for a little more towards the snatched side, then the Lancome Skin Feels Good. It's called a hydrating skin tint. Think of it, it's a tinted moisturizer, essentially, with a different name. That's what it is. This is like my favorite, I think, in that category. A tinted moisturizer, a hybrid skin tint, whatever they want to call them. They all have different names to them. I don't know why we can't just agree. But anyway, I digress. This, for me, the reason this stands out in that category is just its durability. It wears very, very well in all different kinds of conditions. You guys remember the train story? If you don't, you know, I'm so sorry about it. But just take it from me, this wears very, very well, at least on me and my skin type. It's very, very quick and easy to buff into the skin. There aren't that many shades, but they are very forgiving, like this one. I mean, obviously this is my summer shade. It's not going to work now. Don't be crazy. But in summer it's still much too dark, but when I actually work it into the skin, it all is fine because it is a very light coverage. But for a light coverage, it evens everything out beautifully. I don't need to go in with concealer too. I will just use this and, you know, a bit of bronzer, a bit of cream bronzer, a bit of Chanel, Soleil Tender Chanel, some mascara, brows, maybe a lip balm, and Snatchural. Perfection. And going a hair further towards the Snatched scale, my favourite natural, very natural skin-like lighter coverage foundation, but definitely more of a foundation than the other products I talked about, is the Pat McGrath. I think this is just such a great natural foundation. It can be sheer or you can build it up to pretty much a full coverage, so it's very flexible, so you don't have to specially buy a Natural Days foundation because this one can do it all. It also photographs beautifully, so if you're wanting to look Snatchural on a date or Snatchural in a nightclub, you know, we've all got that date marked in our calendars. And this was a great option if you want to look Snatchural for an evening event. Then this is the one that I would grab for because it photographs beautifully, but it can be very sheer and skin-like and natural. And has she actually even got foundation on? Who needs to know? How will they know? So I haven't included any concealer or powders because for me, when I'm going Snatchural, I don't use either of those products. I will just go with a skin tint or the CC cream and I'll just use that under my eyes, on my head, just, you know, the whole shebang. I don't go in with a concealer. I don't have problematic skin. I really only use concealer like to brighten and to like balance out skin tone and things like that. So I use it under my eyes and to balance darkness. But if I'm going super natural, I don't necessarily take that step. So I haven't included any concealers today because for me, when I use concealer, the point is not to look natural, it's to look unnatural with no dark circles and no, you know, light and shade of any kind, just like a robot, you know? So next up, let's talk about chic products, chic cheek products. So I feel like this is a bronzer that I've definitely come back to recently, that I've recently rediscovered and been branching back out. It was my favourite for a very, very long time. Then the Gucci and the Charlotte Tilbury came along and I left this one by the wayside. But in the last couple of weeks, I've picked this one back up and it's definitely a more natural bronzer than those other two that I talk about. And this is the Marc Jacobs, is it Tantalize? Tantalize bronzer. So if you have light to medium skin, Tantastic would be probably more up your street, medium and deeper. Then the Tantalize. I think if you have deep skin, this obviously isn't going to bronze you, I don't think. I think medium tanned, that's about the limit for this one. They definitely need like a third shade in this range. That would be fantastic if you could, Marc Jacobs. But this is the bronzer that I've got on today. And I feel like it's just very skin-like. It's very subtle and very beautiful and perfected. And it just gives me enough, but without me looking like I'm wearing bronzer, if that makes sense. This is the one I reach for when I just want to do a little bit, do a little smidgeroo of bronziness. Highly recommend these. They're huge. My Tantalize, my Tantastic, it's so confusing. I don't know what's happening. But the other one, the lighter one, has that big hole in the middle, which I'm alarmed and afraid that this one is going to do. So now I'm just using it around the edges in terror of that hole appearing in the center. But either way, they've both lasted me a very long time. I like the packaging, I like the smell. It's a great bronzer, and I just hope that this one doesn't crumble and give me that horrible feeling whenever I look at it. You know what I'm talking about. So as far as highlight, so the first highlight is the one that I'm going to speak about today. Now this doesn't look very Snatchural today, it just looks snatched. This looks like, you know, it's definitely a highlight, but I really built this highlight up today. This is the Pat McGrath, what's it called? Divine Rose highlight. It's my holy grail highlight, my favourite highlight. I struggle to use any other highlight these days. I just am obsessed with it. I love it so much. I just love you. I love you so much. It's perfect for me. The thing about this highlight is, the reason I say that it's a natural product is it's so smooth. So smooth. So smooth, smooth as smooth can be. In fact, that you can quote me on that. It's as smooth as it gets. It doesn't enhance texture. It's smoother. It's smoothing. It's even smoother than I would be without it, I feel. But so skin, like it melts into my skin. It melts. It's seamless. There's no line. There's no blend. It's just effortless. Can you tell that I like it? Can you tell? I can tell. I think you can probably tell. I love it. I just think it's amazing. The thing about this is it can be used very, very naturally, very snatchily. It can be, but you can also build it up all day and get to this and it will just never, ever look too heavy, look thick, look powdery or anything. It just builds and builds the intensity. But if you blend it out and use it lightly, then it can also just be very natural. It can be like, do you see that? Do you see? Obviously we've got the CC cream here, but this is where I've put the highlight on this side, and it can just be glow, just very subtle soft glow, or you just build and build and build until you can get to here as well. But it just catches the light and it's so gorgeous that I think it is like my go-to Snatchural for life. I mean, beat that. I'm saying to you brands, beat that. Try. I'd like to see you try. I would like to see you try. Never have too many holy grails. Now, if you have lighter skin, that one, it isn't dark, but I do think on fairer skin, you just have to be a bit careful with it, not to get a cast, not for it to show as colour. You probably need to use it higher up on your cheek. So if you have very fair skin, then this would be another great option. This is the YSL Touche Eclat 3D All Over Glow. So this one is definitely less glowy than the Pat McGrath. It's more subtle. It's more of a luminosity. It's much more thick in consistency. There it is there. You can see that it's definitely lighter in tone. So if you have fair, light skin and you don't want it to kind of show colour on your skin or worry about a cast or have to use something carefully, you just want to whack it on and not have a panic attack, then this one I think is going to be more flattering on fairer skin. So that's another option. Or if you just want to go a bar down back towards the natural town, then that one is going to be a little more natural than the Pat McGrath potentially. So for blush, I have two blush to recommend. First up is the NARS Claudette Duo. This is going to give you two. So, you know, don't say I never give you anything for free. This is two in one, two for the price of one. Now, this you can mix together and that will give you a lovely Snatchural blush. But this one, this natural side, this neutral side, let's say, you can see as I'm swatching it, it's barely there. It's very easy to build up and blend up. What does that mean? This is very easy to build up and blend out. You can see I'm doing that. I'm not going to lie to you, this is not going to work probably on me in the summer. It's definitely a kind of fair to medium type of thing, I think. Let me know if you disagree or if you've used it and you have tan skin and it works fine on you. I think the coral side will work better in summer, but maybe we'll see when we get there. But both of these are very natural, barely there, especially this sort of neutral shade. It's just so easy. It's going to go with every look. You can just add a touch of it and it's just a hint of something on the cheek without it looking like you're wearing blush. If you're afraid of blush or you just don't like a lot of blush or a heavy blush or you're very fair, I think you'll love it. It's a great start. Like if you don't really use blush or you're not a blush fan, you've never used blush before, I think that's a great like first blush because you've got a couple of options. They're easy to work with, they're foolproof, they're idiot proof, they're bulletproof. I don't know about that, to be honest. I've never been shot in the cheek. Now, next up, this blush that I'm wearing today that has like instantly overnight become like holy grail status. This is one of the new shades from Laura Mercier and it is Bellini. When I ordered this, I wasn't sure if this was even going to show up on me, and it is subtle. You can see today it doesn't necessarily look like she's wearing blush. Who knows if I'm wearing blush or not? Maybe it's just bronzer. We don't know, but it does make a beautiful difference. It's a very heavy swatch and I did build this up a lot today to actually get it to show and actually see that there's blush there. But this is just the easiest hint of colour, the hint of something that just kind of makes you look alive and fresh and youthful, but without it being blush on your cheeks, you know. The most Snatchural blush I think I own. It is just perfect, but it's not necessarily that it's light, it's that it's a very natural colour and it's a very understated, very buildable formula. I mean, you guys know how I feel about Laura Mercier blushes. They are my favourite blush formula. I'm pretty sure, I think so. I think that's correct. That shade in particular is like it for me. It's just, I just think it's just so natural, understated, easygoing. I'm living for it. I'm living. So moving on to the eyeballs, and I have 3 eyeshadow palettes for you, 3 options. So again, don't say I never give you anything, okay? I've got options today. I've got 3 options, in fact. Let me get a coffee because I just want to make sure I'm fully awake for this. So the Snatchural palette to end all Snatchural palettes for me is Biba. It's the undefeated natural, Snatchural and everything in between palette. You've just got so many flaming options. So many flipping options. It's just options coming out your ears as far as skin tones, as far as dialing. Why is this like just really annoyingly leaving such a shadow on my face because it's so large? Where can we put you that you aren't going to do that to me? Why? Let's put you back. That's it. That's all she wrote. This just has so many options in there, you know, for skin tones. If you're a makeup artist and you want to be able to do Snatchural on many different skin tones, this is going to give you that. You can dial it up, dial it down. It's got multiple lid shades. It's also got shimmers that when buffed out or just used very lightly can be, again, very Snatchural. Don't have to be full beaming, full power, full steam ahead. This is like the ultimate Snatchural palette for me. It's just whenever you just want to do that, you know, buffing something into the crease, just giving you a little hint of definition or something, this is like the palette I want to use because it does that with like aplomb. That's right, word of the day, aplomb. Use it in a sentence. Now, if that is like a little intimidating or it's a little pricey or it's just like you don't, what is happening today? Or you just don't want all of that and all of those options and you don't want to spend that amount of money on a palette, might I suggest the Charlotte Tilbury Dessert Haze palette. This is a quad, obviously, 4 little matte eyeshadow roonies, and it does Snatchural in the teeny tiniest little package. Again, if you are traveling, if you're going somewhere for work or you have to do your makeup, you know, with a little makeup bag somewhere, you're short of space, you're short of room, you don't want the giant, huge Biba palette. This is its little teeny weeny sister. It's like for the 4 most essential shades out of Biba in a quad. And it's, yeah, it just does everything that you need it to do, but it does it in the smallest form possible. Obviously you don't have a shimmer option, and I will say if you have like fair light skin, this sort of bone shade is probably going to be just a hair too dark. Like if you were to use it all over your lid or your brow bone, it's going to be too dark there, I think. On me it's just about right, and in summer it works better for me when I'm more tanned than it does now. So I will say this is kind of a medium to deeper skin dream, and they are very pigmented, these shadows, and they are deeper, I think, than they look in the palette. They are very, very buildable. And yeah, there's a lot of depth in there. So I think these are more suited to sort of medium tanned and deeper skin tones. You can kind of see this is just a little bit deeper than my hand, that lightest shade. So for me, it's just about okay right now. I wish it was a little lighter right now, but in summer it's perfect for like carving out my lid. So I do think if you have fair skin, that shade isn't going to be quite right in here, but it is a great way to have kind of less, smaller, but still do all the jobs you want a Snatchural palette to do. And then the third eye option, if you're looking for something that is still Snatchural, it's still natural, it's still barely there, it's still very wearable, it's still very understated, but you don't necessarily want like skin tones. You want something that's maybe a bit peachier, that's maybe got some other options in there as well. You want some more versatility, then I would suggest the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk palette, because this does have those natural skin tony shades, but it's also got some party over here and some shimmer over here. So if you don't just want mattes, you want some more options, you want to do the Snatchural thing, but you kind of want, you know, to have some fun as well, then this is going to kind of give you that. A great palette, again, a palette that can really be built up as intense or as natural and as subtle as you want, but it's just kind of got a few more color tones in there and different tones. They're not just all very natural skin tones like the other two. This is kind of giving you a bit more color, but in a very natural, understated way. One mascara to rule them all, the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Push Up Lashes. The mascara I've got on today, now obviously I didn't really go for a very natural lash. I mean, I rarely do, to be honest. This is the most natural mascara I have, or I use, or I enjoy, because it isn't the biggest, fattest lashes, but it can be built up to be quite dramatic like I did today. But if you just kind of do, you know, one or two coats like a normal person and not like a mascara maniac like me, then you will get a fanned out, fluttery, defined, lifted lash, which is just very quick and easy to get to a very nice, natural, understated look. It's perfect on lower lashes too, without being too much, without it being overwhelming. And I love everything about it. It's definitely like my go-to for Snatchural days. And then lip products. There's lots of lip formulas I feel like that fit into this category these days. It's kind of been the thing, you know, these balms with colour. One of my favourites is the Fenty, what are these called, Slip Shines, and this shade in particular, Cookies and Cocoa. Obviously, depending on your skin tone and things like that, you might want to pick a different shade, but there's obviously lots of great shades in this formula. So this is the formula that I would recommend, because they're very sheer, very flattering. They've got a lovely natural, like shiny glow to them, and they're balms, so they're quite nice and hydrating as well. And it just gives you something on the lips without it looking like colour, without it looking like you're wearing lipstick, and that will just balance really nicely with these other products. Because obviously if you go for a very natural base, very natural eye, and then you whack on the red lip, I mean, I literally love that look, to be honest, but it's obviously going to give you away that you're wearing makeup if you have a bright red lip on. I mean, you could try and lie, but people would be suspicious. Suspicions would be raised. Whereas if, you know, you go with this, a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury, use Biba a little bit in the crease, one of the blushes I talked about, and this, you know, try and prove that I'm wearing makeup. I dare you. Okay, so there you have it. Those are my absolute favourite naturally snatched products that I reach for when I'm trying to look a little put together, but is she wearing makeup, but very, very natural, enhancing what you've got without being makeup. You know, you hear me? I would love you to share your favorites, please, in the comment section down below. I love finding new products like this. I feel like this is mainly my aesthetic. These luminous, glowy, healthy, natural looking products I just really, really love. So please let me know what your favorites are in the comment section down below. We just love a sharer here. We love sharing is caring. Remember that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye.